Integrity is something we want others to have, but struggle to find it within ourselves. Society is built on the handshake principle of integrity. Your word is supposed to be your bond. Corporate missions declare it, and pastors are assumed to have it. But what is integrity, and how do we develop it? What does the word integrity mean to you?
Integrity means doing what is right, whether people are watching or not, because you know it's the right thing to do.
You stay with your promises.
You give your word to do something, and then you do it.
How do you demonstrate integrity?
Sticking with what I say I'm going to do, or sticking with my promises.
I was probably like the biggest liar, and I'd lie about everything. Like no matter what it was, I'd be lying about it. But now I don't do things that I would have to lie about.
How do your parents demonstrate integrity?
They keep their promises most of the time. The times that they don't, it really puts me down, and it really just bums me out.
Look up integrity online and you find a multitude of pithy sayings, but they all seem to center on the idea that integrity is shown when our behavior, both private and public, lives up to our beliefs and words. We encourage you to embrace 3 critical practices in your life to reestablish integrity. 1. Plant some guardrails in your life. We put up literal guardrails for our kids early in life so they won't fall out of bed. We follow building codes and erect railings so that we don't walk off our deck or drive off the road. Our lives are full of guardrails to protect us from the physical missteps. But there are also unseen guardrails that you erect for yourself. Personal boundaries that act as acceptable limits to your behavior. Your standard of behavior is a conscious choice. You set the line, and you set where the rail is. We all do this whether there are laws in place or not. You see, we decide what is appropriate to read or watch. We decide what is acceptable regarding lying and cheating. We even set standards around what is an appropriate diet and how frequently we will exercise. And when we drive through a barrier and overindulge, we typically feel bad and recommit to behaving in accordance with our beliefs. Where have we set up our guardrail when it comes to completing our taxes? Or billing for jobs we have completed? Telling stories about our sporting exploits? Once a guardrail is up on a certain location, it rarely moves. Is your guardrail in a place of safety, or are you living in such a way that if you hit your guardrail, it will be too late? Has it been planted so far into the danger zone that is not much good for you? Are you taking risks in your sexual life, at your job, or with your physical health, and no longer living the life that you intended? If your behavior is no longer lining up with your words or beliefs, it might be time to reset the guardrails in your life. The second critical practice is becoming aware of our choices. Guardrails should be set up in an area of safety to protect us from danger, so that when we make a mistake in life and hit the guardrail, we are able to carry on. While hitting the boundary might be frustrating or painful, it should not cost us our marriage, our job, or other meaningful relationships with friends, parents, or kids. Life has a way of sneaking up on us, and pretty soon we are middle-aged, living a life that we never intended. And it is easy to rationalize our behavior. Everyone cheats on their taxes. And you know, pornography is everywhere, so it's just not a big deal. We tend to make up excuses for our behavior and simply mimic the behavior of what we believe others are doing. Don't use today's test for honesty and integrity and believe that it's okay as long as you don't get caught. By spending some time reflecting and becoming conscious of your choices, you will be better able to fight the integrity slip and slide. The final and most critical daily practice for maintaining integrity is through the use of accountability. Having people in your life that will notice when you are driving dangerously and might add a guardrail or two in your life themselves. They should be able to ask the tough questions and be insightful enough to redirect your thinking so that you reconsider your choices. It's easy to lose focus and get distracted when we are driving down the highway of life. But it is so much better to have someone asking you the tough questions regularly than to have a guardrail be added when it's too late. The spouse that needs to check your internet search history because you have been distant and unavailable in your marital relationship, or the boss that needs to do a surprise job evaluation because your work has become sloppy. These sudden guardrails can be very painful as we slam up against them, but they are intended to protect us from getting even further off track. Having accountability in your life enables and encourages these guardrails. We benefit from having someone who is looking out for our best interest, one who will remind us when we are in rough gravel on the side of the road and heading for the edge.